Well, this was a couple weeks ago now, but Coach Dicker talked about how you guys were doing the nickel boat challenge, and he thought it'd be competitive, and then he saw your boat, and that was the end of that. Does that just right into your engineering, kind of what you're doing, what you're majoring in, and just kind of seemed to be a perfect fit for you?
Yes. When I saw the challenge, I got excited. I love the build ones. I actually won the tower contest last year. It was whoever could have the highest tower and hold a marshmallow at the top. So I was hoping for a two-peat. So back-to-back years, I've won the building competition and a Friday night competition. But I mean, it's funny. I was just talking about how I took fluid mechanics last year, and we had to do problems like that where you had to actually theoretically design it. But so I was ready for the occasion.
Well, Christian said he thought he was feeling pretty good, and then he saw you had like a full-on, yacht built, and that was kind of the end of that. How do you balance? I mean, the electrical engineering or the engineering major just seems to be, or mechanical engineering, seems to be just beyond difficult to my eyes. How do you balance doing that, staying up on that, and playing football?
It's a day at a time, really. You be where your feet are. When I'm at practice, I'm 100% invested. I don't think about exams. I don't think about studying. I don't think about any of that. When I go to class, I'm 100% invested. And then I do good I set an hour, and then I take a 15-minute break and set an hour, and I'm able to get all my schoolwork done. And I have a lot of help from, some friends who can help tutor me in some classes. And, if I have questions, my professors do really well. So it does good. And our academic staff does a phenomenal job of helping me out.
On a football note, for you guys as an offensive line, kind of going off of the bye week, where do you feel like the biggest point of emphasis was for in the past few days, kind of having the week off and preparing for Utah State?
Our big thing going into the bye week was how can we be 10% better? Whether that's extra sleep, coming to the building early, extra treatment. Maybe you need to get 10% better at film study. So the emphasis has been, as a offensive line group, we want to be 10% more consistent to the standard. So I think that's been the emphasis and what has really carried us through this whole bye week in preparation.
All right, I got an off-the-wall one. You guys do a karaoke contest. Who wins?
Oh, karaoke. We got some good singers. I mean, we got guitar players. I don't know if you know this, but Eddie actually plays guitar pretty well. He does really well. But I got to hand it to Essa. Essa sings a lot. He has a ukulele, and he plays for us, especially when we're hanging out. I think he'd take it.
Buddha said he'd win. I imagine you disagree?
You know what? Props to him for the confidence, but my money's on Essa.
Tell us, just in terms of haven't had really much stability on the offensive line this season, just with guys in and out because of injury or subs or whatnot. Is that affect kind of what you're seeing or kind of blocking out there, or are you just more kind of locked into your spot at right guard?
There's different nuances to guys who play next to you and that sort of thing. But what's nice is we do a really good job in the off season, and especially our strength staff. We mix up lifting racks, and we'll lift with different guys every day of the week. So you get to know everybody really well. So it's always going to be a little bit different, but we've done a good job of preparing, and I know everybody on the line really well enough that it just kind of keeps flowing.
Is there chemistry to have with other linemen, or is that more of a skill position thing, or how does that work when you're kind of in the trenches and you're trying to have to navigate someone's coming at me versus there's also my teammate to the right of me?
Yeah, I mean the offensive line is a brotherhood. The only position that doesn't have stats, so we always say it's a fist, not a hand, because if you're working as a single finger, it doesn't really work out as well. But that chemistry is a huge part of having a great offensive line.
You guys will be having I think it's your fifth kickoff at 7 p.m. or later coming up on Saturday. Tell me about that dynamic and what kind of challenge that is, just having all these late games.
It is late, and especially practicing in the morning, it's different, and it's strange to wake up and kind of relax all day and wait around, because usually we're up and at 'em real early. But we've done a really good job through fall camp and through spring ball at training for those sorts of situations, to where we had night practices, fall camp, and that sort of thing. So a game, everybody's excited, juices are flowing, so it doesn't matter what time it is, the Cougs are ready to play.
Tell me if I'm reaching on this, but when it's nighttime and all the lights are on, does that is your eyesight better, just seeing things better, or is that just kind of not really much of a factor?
It depends on the stadium. Sometimes if the sun's kind of low, it's kind of a more noon game, and The lighting's weird. You kind of have to squint a little more, but the lights, it's a little easier to see and your eyes are a little more wide. But I mean, it doesn't play a huge factor.
So what do you do all day with a home game at like 7 o'clock? Like how do you kind of kill that time?
Lots of naps. So we wake up and we have a big stretch and roll out, and then we have some meetings and we get everything going. I watch a little bit of film, eat our lunch, I take a big nap, and then it's kind of the reset towards pregame meal and okay, let's get ramped up.